Hello and welcome back to another episode of Twisted Iron Projects. In today's video, I'm going to real quick go over how I built my new forge in my new location in my shop, as well as how I built the attached table to it that I use as a welding table, as well as an area to store a lot of coal. So if you want to see how I made that, make sure to stick around. To start things off, I set everything up roughly where I wanted it to be in the new spot of my shop. Kind of want everything spaced out, good enough room for me. This here is just some sheet metal that I use angle iron to make a box with, and then my fire pot is 2 pieces of 1-inch square tubing that I drilled some holes into, welded together, and then the actual walls of the fire pot are 3/8 inch thick steel that I welded on at an angle, and fits in there just perfect. I did it this way, that way I could remove it if I ever need to move the entire forge. Makes it a little bit lighter by being able to take it apart. Now we're going to be building the table that's going on beside it, and I'm using 3/8 I believe thick steel, sheet metal, and then 3-inch piping that I'm going to weld onto it as the legs. Now, I'm not a welder, so by all means judge, but just know that I'm not a professional welder. I do it good enough to get by. It may look really bad, but at least it holds. I haven't had a weld break yet. Now, unfortunately, I don't have quite a flat surface to be able to make this table perfectly flat as I would like it to be, so there is going to be a little bit of bows and stuff into it. If you want it to be flat, make sure you use a flat surface when you put this together. Now that I got the legs put onto the table, I'm going to butt it up against the forge where I want it, and then I'm going to weld that seam in between to kind of hold it into place. Due to vibration and everything, it will occasionally work its way off. That's why I welded it together. As you can see again, I'm not much of a welder, but it gets the job done. Now for drawing a circle for my hand crank forge that I had there, I'm going to do a little trick that I found, and that is to measure out the size that I want with my measuring tape, put my finger in the middle, and then use my soapstone at the end of the measuring tape to actually draw the circle. Unfortunately, I don't have the means to cut the circle perfectly, so I'm just going to use my angle grinder here with a cutting wheel onto it, small sections at a time, get as close to the circles as I can. Now, the purpose to me cutting out the circle into it is when I have my coal forge, that's the hand crank, underneath it, when the fire's going and everything, and I'm going to have my coal up here on my table, I could just scrape it off into the forge like so. Feel like it'd come in handy. As you can see there, I got everything in place, everything welded together. I did do a thick piece of steel there as kind of a striking anvil for when I'm doing cuts and stuff like that, or even small forge welds to where it's 1/4 inch thick. Gotta be real fast with that heat, and going from the fire to the anvil really sucks a lot of the heat out, so I figured if I have it right there next to my fire, I could save a lot of time and energy. Power the electric forge, I am using a Coleman air blower for mattresses. It works okay. Now for my hood and my chimney, I just welded found this sheet metal box that I'm using as the hood, and then I am using 8-inch stove piping for the chimney. I know a lot of people recommend doing 10 to 12-inch pipe, and I'm pretty sure it would work a heck of a lot better if I did that, but I ended up putting a turbine cap on it, which ended up helping eventually. At the moment in this video, I just have a regular cap and it works okay. I hope this video helped any of you out there looking at making your own forge, but that's it for today. Stay classy, party on.